Hello everyone, this is Steve talking at you from the Classic Comics Mansion here. It's the Classic Comics Man, back for another round of talk about, today we're going to talk about some UFO publications. No, not publications about flying saucers. This is the United Fanzine Organization. Basically a, it could be, you could think of it as the United Small Press Comics organization, fanzine being kind of an archaic word, but we'll hang on to it because the UFO with that name is such a time-honored organization. We're proud of it, and I'm proud of having been a member for this thing for like half a century. And some of my friends are, and some of you are newer members, but whatever, you're all welcome. And wow, what a long and fascinating and illustrious history the group has. But today we're going to talk about Toni Lorenz, my pal over there in Tampa, on the west side of Florida, which I'm right in the middle. Here I am in Orlando, and Toni sent me this new edition of Futuro Tierra. It's kind of hard for me to trill those R's, being as a speaker of English, and have to trill those darn R's, and plus I just had some ice cream and my tongue's frozen, but you get the idea. Read it if you can't understand what I'm saying. Futuro Tierra, future Earth, in other words. Toni has continued a great comic series that he began, couple of decades ago, and it's been going on for a while. And we got all new stories here. Look like they are web comics that were adapted to this format. I like this handy size here, this trim, thin size, but it's about some people in the future. You can tell it's the future because the Statue of Liberty here is all covered in moss and stuff, and this is after a great catastrophe, of course. Now we've seen stories like this, and Planet of the Apes immediately comes to mind, but this is nothing like Planet of the Apes. And we get here, Toni talks about himself here, and at the end, on the other side of the book, if you look here, there's our pal Ken Anthony II. Ken Anthony, who actually wrote this story, and is writing for Toni. Toni does the art chores and is doing a great job. And there's a lot of high drama in this issue. High drama and some really frightening, scary parts to the script and to the artwork. You can see the alarm in this guy's face. That's Steve there. And but in the end, you can see folks smiling, and you know that things are going fairly well. The struggle continues, and I'm sure it will continue for some time to come. But this is the latest episode, the latest installment of this great series. And Toni just shines on the artwork here. The reduction in the condensation makes the panels look a little bit narrow, but that's not really a problem. It's totally readable. Yay! 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 There's my dearly beloved BB. That's right, that's my sweetheart, and she's going to be in all my videos. She's just like Stan Lee. She makes an appearance in every film. Well, I'm crazy about her, by golly. Now, let me tell you what I'm not crazy about. Well, not crazy about. Since I made that first clip, I was going to review this one, which is another one by Ken Anthony II and Toni Lorenz, The Sniper. Once again, the continuation of a classic comic series from Small Press of a few years ago. And but what happened was, all of a sudden I got a message, and I was on my bicycle. I was going to be really cool about this. I was going to ride my bike with the camera in one hand and the Small Press comic in the other hand, and ride and review the comic while I was riding, and maybe get in a car wrecked, get hit, and annihilated. And it would have made for great video. I mean, yeah, that would have been exciting, but it didn't happen because I got a message that the memory card was full. Now this, earlier today, before I recorded the other, after I recorded the other video, the battery went dead, and then the memory card was full. Excuse me. And I've been drinking coconut milk. Well, not milk, water. It's buku. Buku means coconut in Philippines, and this is the best one. Iberia, coconut water. This is my advertisement. Buy this stuff. It's great, folks. It's really great. You think I should have done commercials? Well, anyway, here's the thing. let's talk about the Sniper. I got all the problems fixed. It took me like an hour. I was so ticked off and pissed off because I was ready. I was in the mood. Now I'm all hyper, but I'm all discombobulated. Oh yeah, the Sniper. Okay, the Sniper is a guy, sort of a vigilante guy. His sister was killed by gang members and stuff, and he continues on with the help of friends, fighting against gang violence and all kinds of violence. We got a villain here, a bad guy called the Moonlight Killer. The Moonlight Killer always seems to be one step ahead, and here we are. He's being consoled by his friend here, and what can you do? Superheroes are sometimes full of anguish. They just want to, they want to avenge the victims and their families. By God, that's what superheroes do. I mean, look, there's like bloodshed and everything, and really scary stuff like this. Yeah, and and then it gets exciting. We're jumping into cars, we're running, we're smashing through windows. There's a big battle. It's 11:55 at night, and there's a comeuppance. Yeah. I'm not going to show you all the ending because that would ruin it. Ken, I'm not going to tell them. You can keep smiling. Don't get mad. I'm not going to tell them the ending. Okay? But that's the Sniper, also by Toni Lorenz. Now these comics that I mentioned to you are by Ken Anthony II and Toni Lorenz, and these comics are available. Send me a personal message and I'll tell you how to order them. Okay? Now we're going to get on to the next thing. I'll tell you what we got here. And this is coming up towards the end here. And that is saved to my computer. Because I got a PDF of this one here. And that's Larry Johnson's Random Accents. Random Accents. Random Access #1. Right, Larry Johnson. We'll get to that in a little bit. But here's Larry Johnson. Larry, we're going to get to your comic here shortly. One of my greatest friends of all time in small press. Just a great guy, and he's a teacher, and he's an influence, and love this guy. So Larry, we're gonna get to your comic. What? I gotta take a break, so we'll get back to it. Okay, we're gonna get back to it. Don't worry, Larry. We're gonna get back to it. No problem. Okay, in a little bit. Okay, we're back. Larry sent me this thing, and it's in gorgeous color. I mean, this is glorious. And of course, you can print this out. It's the PDF. And here we got some of Larry's art, and he is really a great artist. Whether he's working in watercolor or pen and ink or whatever, his art over the years. What an amazing fantasy artist! I mean, this is stuff that you see in your dreams if you're lucky enough to have dreams like this. And he talks about collecting comics. I love this full color stuff here. The Two Gun Kid. Yeah, I read those when I was a kid, with Kirby covers no less. A lot of them. And, well, these don't all have Kirby covers. I don't know what I'm seeing here, like Romita or somebody? Anyway. But yeah, there were a lot of Kirby covers anyway, back in those days. So anyway, look at this. Okay, I'm reading the article. Picked up these Jimmy Olsens for $3 each. Here's a run of Superboy from 1964. It's Kurt Swan, of course, the great Kurt Swan. And, all the wonderful... These are the comics I read when I was a kid. And Larry read when he was a kid. Dark Shadows, what was that? Oh, that King Kong comic. I used to have that. That was an incredibly well done Gold Key comic, a faithful adaptation of the original movie, and that was a terrific comic. Dr. Solar, Man of the Atom, where's he at? Right over here. Those Dark Shadows. I had this original series of Dark Shadows comics because, like Larry, I go way back. But this particular issue showcases a lot of his wonderful artwork, the landscape artwork here, and all this incredible fantasy artwork as well. So there's a lot of artwork. I could keep scrolling down and scrolling. So yeah, one great online comic zine from Larry Johnson. And of course, how can I help but highly recommend it? I mean, you see for yourself, it's a stunning issue. Speaking of stunning, DITKOMANIA number 96 from Rob Imes. I've been sitting on this. I mean, the production is so great on this with these beautiful covers, but before I can really comment on this thing, I've got to read it. Hey, we're back. I'm in the kitchen with my roommate Domingo.
I'm back.
He's back. Say hello to everybody.
I'm the exterminator.
Yeah, he's the exterminator. He's cooking. Yeah, he's cooking some vegetables and stuff. And there's a whole lot of, looks like there's a whole lot of tuna involved in this. Ah! Okay, now where? Huh?
It's a tuna sandwich.
Yeah. Okay, that's Domingo. That was his cameo in my video. So I just finished reading DITKOMANIA numbers 96 with these outstanding covers. And who did these covers? Because they're beautiful, in beautiful full color. Let's see, front cover by Darren Goodhart. Darren Goodhart. Who's the back cover by? Back cover and front inside cover by Jim McPherson. Jim McPherson, there he is. I just can't get past, huh?
Hopefully me to pass up.
Yeah. And yeah, Tom Ahern did this one, which is also quite beautiful. So Thomas Ahern, we've known him for a long time. Hi Tom, if you're watching this, hi. You just got mentioned. Okay, well, Steve Ditko died. This is DITKOMANIA, long-running comic book fanzine. One of the best fanzines ever published, really. I mean, seriously, and it's one of the longest running of 96 issues. I mean, for crying out loud, that's awesome. And Rob Imes is doing a superb job. And he has a editorial where he talks about Ditko and the fact that, you know, everybody thinks of Ditko as Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, but Ditko did a world of other material, and all in his many decades of long career, you know, Ditko was unique and he was private. But his comics have influenced, you know, the whole world of comicdom, you know, influenced everybody, and you know, but there's a whole lot more to him than just Spider-Man, and that was great. Spider-Man was awesome, and but you know, he did a lot of stuff, and he had a stint in Adventure Comics, reprinting in here some of the covers and stuff. And he talks about, you know, the history of Starman and how this particular version of Starman, which was different from the original DC Golden Age Starman, came about. It's an article by Brian Stroud here, and it was around for a short while in Adventure Comics with Plastic Man and Aquaman as a backup feature. So it's a very interesting comic book. Talking about Steve Ditko having been around, here's a reprint of Ditko, sort of an ad at Charlton. He's been around, Steve Ditko, and is back at Charlton. He was at Charlton for many, many years, and you know, and so he did stuff for DC like Hawk and Dove, and there was a lot of stuff that he did. But there was an influence around this time of Star Wars and the science fiction fantasy genre of the 1970s. It's been up to Starman in what, like 1980, I think. I think they tell you in here. There's another article by Jason Sachs, also on Starman. And then there's some discussion by Rob himself of Ditko's work for a certain prozine, certain classy comic fanzines, and the comics that he did for Bill G. Wilson's The Collector, and also a zine called Questar. And Ditko did a lot of work and created some characters and for these comics. And I don't know if any of these things have been reprinted, but Ditko did extensive work in the alternative comics medium. He's talking about the hero Kosage being a cross between Flash Gordon and Captain Atom. Well, there he is. And that unique Ditko style. So yeah, and then there was we've got some talk about, well, these are reprint. I immediately recognized these covers as early Marvel, and but these were transplanted into the Doctor Who magazine back in the late 70s and 80s, and there were reprints of early Marvel or Ditko horror comics. Larry Johnson has an extensive article in here. Remember Larry Johnson? We talked about Larry Johnson before, but he writes great articles. This one is on Ditko's horror hosts, The Mysterious Traveler, primarily in Charlton Comics, how Ditko created a horror host who didn't just narrate the stories, but they appeared in the stories. The Mysterious Traveler appearing behind the scenes and popping in between the panels and whatnot. And other ones, Mr. Dead. Mr. Dead. Yep. And you can see that great, Ditko just had that moody, creepy art style that was so good, you know, on the early Marvel horror comics and the later Charlton horror comics, and etc., creepy and eerie and all of that. But you know, Ditko was such a master, and you know, the experimentation he did with the panels and the format and everything. This is another horror host appearing in between the panels of the story. That would be Dr. Graves. But yeah, a lot of great reprinted artwork by the great artist. And on and on. There's the letter column in here, and comics from here. This is by this zany thing is by Joshua Warren, The Gray Negotiator, created by Steve Ditko, it says. So yeah. But really a great issue, and you know, that's about all I gotta stop this somewhere. I don't know how long this video is, but it's getting ridiculously long. Anyway, I hope I didn't bore you too much. I know this was kind of manic and all over the place. Well, you know, a lot of stuff was going on between the battery and the camera dying, and then the memory card I had to wipe out, erase everything on the memory card. It really was full. There was all kinds of stuff in there. Stuff I don't even remember was in there, but I got rid of it all. It's cleaned out, and yeah. Okay, that's it for now. That's it for the Classic Comics Man. I'll see you next time, and we'll review some more stuff. I need to review some of my friend Jim Main. Jim, I haven't forgot you. We're going to be reviewing your books soon too. So, and you know, the rest of you, if you want to send me your comics, you know, I can't promise to review everything. And again, I'm primarily focused on the UFO comics and zines, but I will also review other zines and comics and classic comics once in a while, old Marvels, DCs, you know, and whatever. You know, I was an official member of the Superman Club. Yes, indeed. Right? Okay. Okay, well, that's it for now, folks. You guys have a great day. Keep reading comics, collecting comics, and supporting comics. The medium will never die. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.